Ever since the recent purge of multiple QAnon, Stop the Steal, and MAGA social media accounts, as well as the permaban of former President Trump, damn that feels good to say, the right wing has been claiming they're living in an Orwellian hellscape.
It's Orwellian.
The nonstop vilification, censorship, Orwellian deprogramming.
This could not be more Orwellian.
I read 1984, George Orwell's book, a long time ago.
I don't believe you. Conservatives love to talk about right-wing voices being censored on social media. In fact, those are some of their most popular posts on social media. But the right wing may have accidentally stumbled ass backward into a legitimate concern. Should a handful of tech CEOs have the power to completely control the flow of news and discussion? Hi, I'm Matt Lieb, Francesca's camera guy, and today we're going to talk about how tech CEOs' absolute control over our news, data, and discourse is essentially giving them control over our democracy, and how maybe it's time for our democracy to regain control over them. Our years-long national nightmare is over, folks. Trump has been removed from the feeds. Also the White House, but mostly the feeds.
Donald Trump is banned permanently from Twitter because of concerns his tweets could incite more violence.
Twitter, run by CEO Jack Dorsey, saying after close review of the president's recent tweets, it banned him due to the risk of further incitement of violence.
Wow, so that's all it took, huh? I'd like to point out that I once got suspended and I lost my blue check mark permanently for just pretending to be the New York Times op-ed page. It was worth it though. It's a funny ass tweet. Like a true poster, Trump then took to his alt-Twitter accounts to complain about his free speech being taken away. Soon those accounts were also banned, and Trump had no place to go to whine about free speech, other than television and newspapers and other websites, and the bully pulpit of the American f***ing presidency. It was a perfect distillation of a right-wing complaint that's been levied for years, the idea that somehow tech platforms are silencing them, despite all the evidence to the contrary.
Facebook is a problem. I think that they are trying to intentionally go against conservatives and silence voices.
The top performing post of the week was this post by Candace Owens, a far right-wing commentator and a favorite on Fox, denigrating George Floyd.
Shocking. You know, the height of gaslighting is being told that the right wing is being silenced on Facebook by the very ghoul who has been red-pilling all of our mothers on Facebook. As of July 2020, the top posts on Facebook included 3 Fox News posts, 3 Ben Shapiro posts, and 1 from a guy named Dan Bongino. If you're not familiar with Dan's work,
you can take your mask mandate and shove it right up your ass.
Nah, Dan, that's not where masks go. You put your mask on your face. You're confusing your face with your ass, which makes sense because you talk out of it. But there is a piece of the right's outrage that does kind of hold water.
It's being carried out by big tech, which I would argue has in many ways become more powerful than the government.
Some real broken clock energy here. But it's true, a small handful of tech CEOs like Mark Zuckerberg have way too much power to decide who gets a platform and who gets a ban. Because while we might all relish in Trump being absolutely owned by his favorite app, it's important to remember that it only happened after it was clear that he wasn't going to be president again, and after the Capitol was stormed by people trying to overturn the election. Almost like they were like, no, let's wait and see what happens with this whole coup thing. Listen, Trump deserved to be banned a long time ago, from spreading fake news and conspiracies, downplaying COVID-19, to inciting violence against Black Lives Matter protesters, to the multiple atrocities that he's inflicted upon grammar. Trump was practically begging to be banned, but they didn't. Instead, they made all the money they could from him, consequences to the republic be damned, and then booted him at the last possible moment. Because at the end of the day, tech conglomerates are motivated by power and profit. And that will always take precedence over the public good.
When people say platform, what they really mean is we're a media company but want to operate in a netherland of unprecedented multiples and no accountability. When people say things like impossible or First Amendment or we can't be arbiters of truth, what they're really saying is we're not going to do anything that's unprofitable.
Yeah, and it makes sense. I mean, why would tech CEOs, who are basically unelected business dictators, care to protect democracy? Nothing about their business structure or perspective is democratic. Google, Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft, and Apple have the highest market values of all public corporations in America. And they didn't get there by playing fairly, but by buying out and crushing any competition. Then they turn around and funnel millions of dollars a year into lobbying governments to allow them to keep doing it. And that's to say nothing of the fact that they don't pay any taxes. They've gotten as far as they have because of their Julius Caesar complex, and they embrace it. How else can you explain Mark Zuckerberg's haircut? Come on, bro. All you're missing is a toga. Not only are they not designed to protect the public good, their profit model is actively in conflict with it. Incendiary information gets the most clicks, and by allowing our data to be bought and sold to nefarious actors like Cambridge Analytica, well, they're basically selling us back our drunken diary entries. Just listen to Cambridge Analytica whistleblower Christopher Wiley explain how societal division helps the profit model.
We now live, and get our news and get our information and talk to people using an environment that is mediated by an algorithm that is trying to put us into different groups simply so that we click on it more.
Yeah. They're making profit from polarization hand over fist, and what they're selling isn't ads, they're selling us. We are the products. And let me tell you, I'm a shitty product. So what can we do to hold them accountable? Well, one solution to the problem of tech CEO power that was floated by the Trump administration and other Republicans was reforming Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. This is the legislation that built the modern internet. It makes it so that platforms aren't liable for the speech and actions of their users. It's the reason that social media and other websites that host user-generated content can exist at all. If Section 230 were gone tomorrow, websites that couldn't afford constant litigation would either be sued out of existence or be forced to shut off all of their social aspects. No more Reddit, no more Quora, no more WikiFeet, no more Yahoo Answers, no more WikiFeet, no more Tumblr, no more WikiFeet. And while you might initially think, hey, all of those things you just listed kind of suck and are filled with weirdos, maybe getting rid of Section 230 isn't such a bad idea, well, it's important to note that massive tech companies like Facebook and Google would actually become more powerful as they already are rich enough to be able to afford constant litigation. In fact, some are actively lobbying for reforming Section 230. Just look at the recent FOSTA SESTA bill, which made dating websites liable if users posted ads for sex workers. Mere weeks after the president signed FOSTA, multiple dating sites shut down, while at the exact same time, Facebook announced that it was entering the dating business.
Did you know that 1 in 3 marriages in the United States start online? So today, we are announcing a new set of features coming soon around dating.
Ugh, imagine meeting someone on Facebook and loving them. Me and my wife, well, we met at a Stop the Steal Facebook group, and I remember the first time I saw her from across the room. Our eyes met while she was taking a shit on Chuck Schumer's desk. And Democrats are also starting to play with the idea of getting rid of Section 230, like Nancy Pelosi.
Well, 230 is a gift to them.
That was a gift, yes.
It is a gift to them, and I don't think that they are treating it with the respect that they should.
Yeah.
And so I think that could be a question mark and in jeopardy.
Tech giants are well aware that the US government is looking to take drastic action against them, and they're doing their best to push them in the direction of dismantling Section 230. They're doing the old Obi-Wan Kenobi trick of putting away their lightsaber, just hoping the government will take a swing at them. These nerds know full well that if you strike Section 230 down, they will become more powerful than you can possibly imagine. That reference is for all you losers out there who use Facebook dating. You know who you are. No, I was strictly a Bumble guy. I like when the woman messages first, because I'm a feminist. Getting rid of Section 230 is a terrible idea, not only because it would further consolidate power into the hands of a few tech giants, but because of its implications for actual free speech. New, stricter constraints on speech would limit ideas to the ones that are approved by these tech giants, and this would severely limit our ability to speak out against these companies, like I'm doing right now. Like, we wouldn't even be able to do this video. The only way we'd be able to speak out is through like 2008 I Can Has Cheeseburger memes like coded messages, and that's just, those jokes suck now. The ways that giant conglomerates can buy their way around things like Section 230 gets to the heart of the problem. Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Amazon, and other companies have a monopoly. So what should we be doing? Let's ask someone who would know. This is Chris Hughes, one of a handful of repentant co-founders of Facebook.
Ironically, this is the one problem that Mark Zuckerberg cannot solve. It's up to government to come in, break up the company, and set this baseline of standards.
Dang, a co-founder jumping off the Facebook gravy train and calling for regulation? That's like if Winnie the Pooh was like renouncing honey. There's too many calories in honey. I'm an agave bear now. Oh, I'm Winnie the Pooh. I can't do an impression of Winnie the fucking Pooh. But he's right. Many have called for breaking up big tech conglomerates and requiring them to sell off their acquisitions, like breaking Facebook from Instagram and WhatsApp.
What this is about competition. It's about all those little businesses and startup businesses and entrepreneurs who want to put their products on Amazon or on Google and who are at an enormous competitive disadvantage.
The bad news is regulation at this point might be more difficult than it seems. These companies have been rapidly consolidating, acquiring competitors, and skirting antitrust laws for years. Facebook has practically human centipeded itself to Instagram, and Twitter has gobbled up Periscope and is currently digesting it and planning to crap it out as Twitter Live. They're becoming harder and harder to break up. Another hurdle to regulation is that Congress is mostly full of old people who don't understand technology. Every time there's a big tech hearing, it just sounds like an entire nursing home yelling at the IT guy.
Excuse me, Mr. Zuckerberg. I believe this entire hearing would like to know, what is my password?
Dianne Feinstein here. Where is the internet? The point is, they may already be too powerful for simple regulations. It might be time to nationalize major tech companies. Democratic ownership protects speech far better than private ownership and allows for far more transparency than you will ever get from private tech giants. But more importantly, nationalization would completely remove the profit motive, aka the root of the problem. Simultaneously, it could allow for more capitalist enterprising from regular people, more diverse range of options for consumers, more diverse range of thought and opinion, and a more flourishing democracy. These tech companies are too big for their CEOs to have dictatorial control of their content. Because remember, their content is us. It's our data, our minds, our memes, our feet. Twitter and Facebook have become de facto public squares, and it's time we started treating them as public goods with democratically decided rules. Sure, the internet will continue to have hate speech and conspiracy theories that could do possible harm, but the pace and degree at which those things are amplified will be greatly scaled back. We can't rely on the charity of billionaires in Silicon Valley to act in the public's interest. It just won't happen. Sure, it was fun to watch Jack and Zuck own Donald Trump, but maybe it's time for the people to own Jack and Zuck. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching. Let us know in the comments what you think about regulation versus nationalization of these giant media companies. You know, do you trust the government to control speech better than private corporations? And please follow and subscribe to AJ+. And yeah, why don't you follow me on Instagram at MattLiebJokes. See you next time. Well, I won't. Francesca will. She's just taking a shit.
I'm right here.